Hi. I've been dreading this for a while now. All my friends and family, they've been telling me, like, you need to share your story. You need to start doing your music again. And it's all fine and good, and I've had fun, like, putting all that stuff together, but putting it out there is a different story, man. I'll try to break it down simple and keep my story, the first part of my story, within, like, 10-15 minutes. I was born with a degenerative disease, and I don't really know how much longer I've got to live. Now, when I say I don't know how much longer I got to live, I'm not scared to die. But when you have a degenerative disease, you get really sick and really crippled, and then it takes a really long time to die, and that's what I'm scared of right there. Dying doesn't worry me. I had a near-death experience in 2004. I got in a car wreck, and I almost bled to death internally, and they had to life flight me, and I got to see the other side. And as far as God goes, I'm good. I could check out right now, and I'd be just fine, trust me. But yeah, it's before that. It's before that. I was, at one time, I was a pretty popular musician, and I got sick of it around when I was 27, 28 years old. And the only thing that I like more than music is riding motorcycles. And I learned how to build motorcycles, and I had a blast. Well, this disease now, it's got me to where I can't ride anymore. So I pretty much lost a career that I've been doing for, over 15 years. I can't do it anymore, and people say, well, you don't have to ride motorcycles to build them. Yeah, you kind of do. You got to be able to test ride them. You got to be able to put them on and off the lift. So that's why everybody is like, I haven't been able to ride for like the past 2 years, and everybody was like, you need to start doing your music. You need to tell your story. You need to get involved with the church. And that's fine, but I don't even know where to start, man. And I'm not scared of criticism. I'm not scared of, like, if people think it's whack or anything. I've just become so used to being just alone and by myself that I don't want to deal with people's stupid shit. I really don't, man. But this is something I gotta do. It's something I gotta do. I don't have any income. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I guess I'm gonna have to figure something out. I can get around pretty good now, but I can't work an 8-10 hour workday anymore. After working for about 3 or 4 hours, my body's wrecked. And, I say that I'm too scared to put any of this out. It's just I don't want to be bothered. I mean, I'll kind of show you. Like, I sit here and I write all this stuff, and I've worked really hard on it. I've turned my bedroom into a small studio. I put all this stuff together. I just pieced all this together out of parts. I learned how to build a computer because I didn't have the money to go buy a Mac like I did back in the day. And so I just pieced all this stuff together, and I've had fun learning how to build computers, and I've had fun learning how to set everything up. Anybody that does music production, they know doing it on a Mac and doing it on a PC is a lot different. Mac's a lot easier. I went to school and learned how to do music production. It's a lot easier on a Mac. So learning how to do it on this PC, it was a whole different learning process for me. I love writing. I just got notebooks and notebooks and notebooks full of great stuff. I mean, well, fuck, everybody thinks their own stuff's great, right? But I put a lot of work into it, and I've written a lot of comedy skits, and I've written music, and I've written scenarios and ideas for businesses, but the hardest part is putting it out there. Just putting it out there. When I walked away from music in 2007, that was an easy decision because I had motorcycles. That's what I had. I had motorcycles. I was going to ride off into the wind and never look back, and that's exactly what I did because I don't need a drummer and a bass player and dealing with people's attitudes and their girlfriends and drugs and alcohol and all that bullshit that comes with being in a band. And I was in a pretty popular band. I really was. If the camera's shaking, that's my neuropathy kicking in. I shake really bad now. But I didn't need any of that. All I needed was me and a motorcycle. And then a shop to work on motorcycles. And I was happy with that. I was happy with that. But I figure if I don't start doing this, if I don't start putting all this stuff out, I'm going to become a hermit and drive myself crazy. I kicked my girlfriend to the curb. Like, all she was doing is making a bad situation worse. You know? I don't want to be anybody's burden. So, yeah, I broke up with her last year. And I've been just happy sitting here playing with all this stuff. And writing and recording this music. But still, I'm too chicken shit to put any of it out. Not because I'm scared. I've played in front of thousands of people before. I've played in front of 10 people before. I'm not scared to put myself out there. What I'm scared of is just interacting with people, having to deal with people's stupid shit. If somebody tells me that I suck, that's fine, because music is subjective. Music is very subjective. Either you like it or you don't. Other musicians can critique it. You know, they could say, well, I'd have done this a little bit different. And I love that. Constructive criticism, I love it. It's just all the dumb shit people say. I've been looking on YouTube and looking on Reddit and looking at all these social media sites, and I've interacted with some great people and I've learned a lot of things. But some people just say dumb shit just for the sake of saying dumb shit. But you know what? That's life. That's life. And if I don't want to no longer be a hermit, I'm going to have to break out of the shell. And I know this lighting sucks and the sound probably sucks, and I know how to write and record and produce music. I don't know what I'm doing with video. I've never messed with any video before. I've got cameras. It's just easier for me to do this on this phone for right now. So yeah, I don't know. I guess this is the first one. This is the first one out of hopefully many. I'm going to have to figure out something to do with money. I used to make a pretty good bit of money. I'm not going to say I was balling out of control, but I wasn't hurting for anything either. I used to be able to afford to buy whatever I wanted. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to have to figure it out. And I guess I can start telling my life story and throwing out my thoughts on things and putting out some of my writing and my art. And if people like it, I don't care. I really don't. But I got to put it out. I got to get over this fear. And I got to put it out. And maybe this will help me figure out a way to fund this thing. Because I got to do something, man. I really got to do something. And hopefully I can, telling people about my disease and how I deal with it. Maybe I can inspire somebody. Maybe I can help somebody figure out that, hey, man, my problems aren't so bad. Because that's where I always look at the bright side of things. I really do. I'm not a negative person like this, but it's been a buildup of fear to come to this point to where actually I'm going to put something out there. I don't care if 5 people hear it or 5 million people hear it. I don't care. Just putting it out there, for some reason I got a lot of anxiety about it. I do. So here we are, in my little hermit-ass bedroom that I've locked myself in. I could talk about, like I said, my thoughts and opinions and how I look at things. I can help shine some light about how some people have it way worse than I do, and how some people have it way worse than you do, and how you need to look on the bright side of everything. Because just because I'm a hermit, well, I've turned into a hermit. I didn't always used to be this way. Just because I've turned into a hermit, it doesn't mean that I've been pessimistic. It just means that I've been happy all by my damn self in here with my microphones and my computer and my pad and a pen and a little bit of sweet tea, and I'm good. I got to get out of my comfort zone. Got to get out of my comfort zone. I talk about my near-death experience that I have. I can talk about the experience I've had with church people in the churches after that. I can talk about how, when, and why I walked away from doing music. I can talk about the stuff leading up to this. I can't put it all in one video. This video would last, hell, 15, 16 hours if I laid the basic parts of it down, because I have had a crazy life. I've had a life full of the highest highs and the lowest of lows. I've done stuff that most men only talk about doing. They're in the office on Monday by the water cooler, man. Wouldn't it be cool if we could go and just do this thing? And I've done them before. I've been with some amazing women. I've been with some pretty crazy women too that weren't as amazing. I've dealt with drugs and alcohol. I've dealt with heartache. I've dealt with falling in love. I've done things that were really important that helped out industries and made a lot of people's life easier. I've done some stupid shit. I've done some really stupid shit. I've done some really smart things. But here it is. And I guess this is the first one, and I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to finally put this out here. After all this stuff I wrote, I'm going to put it out there. And hopefully, I can figure out a new way to live my life. Because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm figuring out a new way to live my life. A new way to get myself an income. I'm not saying that YouTube or BitChute or any of that can be a revenue. I would really like to do some studio musician work. I'd really like to produce commercials and stuff like that. I got to figure something out, man. I've got to get out of my comfort zone, because I used to live outside my comfort zone. I used to exist outside of my comfort zone. And now I'm just happy being by myself, and I can't do this. I can't do it. It was good for me for a minute to get my head back together. And the goal was, okay, I'm going to figure out something else to do. I still haven't figured anything else out, because I haven't been outside my comfort zone at all. So, here we go. You want to hear some crazy shit? Pay attention, because you're going to hear some crazy shit. And I'll talk to you on the next one.